Steve wants me to work a little. Or you have some messages.
We believe the future of television is past. In fact, this transition has already begun. We're spending more and more time on our computers and mobile devices, enjoying great TV content through apps such as iTunes.
There's some really bad energy surrounding your guy.
Over 60%
Somebody said ass.
TV streaming video is consumed on an application.
I don't know what your name is.
All of this is consumed through an app.
But I have a hard time believing that you're not a good person.
TV in this way through an app, you realize just how much better it can be. Now, you can search for what you want. You can
Female.
watch it when and where you
Shocker there, huh?
and you can interact with it in incredibly powerful new ways.
The word new wives shows.
You need a new foundation.
A new foundation.
One that's built on powerful hardware.
And then I just kind of got like slapped and this word powerful hardware came up.
That provides a new user experience that's
Something about the
fun and easy to
television.
use.
And then what I saw was like a bunch of different screens of phones. There was like 20 of them, 30 of them.
Just like in the mobile space. And of course, it has an app store so
Of course.
that you can easily find those apps and personalize their TV experience so it's better than ever before. We know this
Personalized,
is what
but
it takes. And we've been working really hard and really long to bring all of these
modern.
today. I'm thrilled
The
to
next.
show you the new Apple TV.
W. Siri, show me something new. Has to do with the menu. Something with SpongeBob. Nobody's here. Something funny. Something about a kingdom. And then an explosion. I did tell you about the precog of the internet going out, right? And that it was somebody from Apple within the organization. Because they got bored.
This is the new Apple TV. And we believe it is the future of television. To tell you all about
I'm not sure if you really understand how the readings work.
you, Eddie,
I mean, I have to watch your content to deliver messages about the work you're up to. Meaning, normally in a project, you would actually be speaking to somebody. So I'm almost like an editor that edits you through thought processes because you all have more education on the items and the systems. But the words that I speak out loud actually give you a more thought-provoking version of it to where you advance your own information. And I'm actually really hard on myself that I don't know how to put a computer together. Meaning I should know more than what I know in Cassandra's mind. But as you all know, though, that's ridiculous. But that's how much she wants to do.
It's better to interact with your television using your voice. And the Siri remote does exactly that. You hold down the Siri button and you ask for something. Show me funny TV.
That's how hard she works, and that's how bad she wants it for the advancement of America and the world. That's how much she cares.
Sorted by popularity.
Which is why she hasn't given up.
Right on top so you don't lose your place.
Meaning she knows that she's in the space right now,
And you get all of the
and it feels like it's her,
episodes.
and she's speaking, but it's also Steve Jobs in conversation with you.
Now today, when you're looking for a particular TV show or movie, you have to search and open each and every app to see which one has it. Well, with Siri, it'll search across multiple content apps and give you all your viewing options on a single screen.
The Apple News Spotlight, Better Living.
It's really cool, and Siri will search iTunes, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, and Showtime. And we'll be adding even more over time. Now, to give you a closer
Nails
look,
peeling as you talk about other networks.
10 polls from the Apple TV
My nail just broke.
give you a demo.
Demo. And I said that yesterday. No, I said that in my documentation, demoing it.
I'm really excited to be the very first one to show you the new Apple TV. Starting off with our gorgeous new screensavers. It looks like a photo, right? But do you see the Cars movie? Let's look at another one. This is all high-def video that we've shot.
The screensavers and a fly shows up.
For Apple TV. Each slow motion shot.
It should really be more of, okay, so if we're working with energy, we don't want to see a city
We've included some
We wanna see
stunning
nature.
locations from around the world.
only,
And Apple TV
which then will allow people to want to have their screensaver pop up, which draws in an attraction to the Apple TV.
Okay, now let's dive in by pressing the home button. So here I am on the home screen.
That's how you shape the minds of people,
And TV shows on iTunes. One of
as
the
an example,
new things on Apple TV
in a way that's
Store.
intentionally positive
I have access to my photos
versus promoting
and
sales.
we've added Apple Music.
You do it with class
Talks about the fantastic
and care and love,
Apple TV. And with touch, I can just
and then the
swipe
whole
up
next
and swipe up
Earth
the top menu
catalog.
and notice the 3D effects on the artwork.
So this, I mean, I could go on and 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 on.
All the way across.
Libertarian
The
periodicals.
movie poster follows the movement of my thumb
J.
on the remote.
Keeney.
Really makes it come to life.
Fun.
Now, the other great
Books.
way to interact with Apple TV is with my voice.
Front lines.
And with Siri, it's
Liberty.
easy to find exactly what
The
I want.
Rising
It's
Sun.
like one of my favorite
Inquire.
actors' appearance in a TV show.
Lines covers all camps in the movement, giving blow-by-blow accounts of
Siri takes me right to the
internecine
monitor.
tips, meaning y'all are not honest with one another, which then distracts from progression in the work. Threatening of firings, libertarian victories and defeats, meaning I want to be right and I want you to be wrong, which hinders the process of growth amongst the organization. Inquire.
And swipe.
At $1 for 8 pages, the price may be a bit high, except to avid political sports fans.
Oh yeah, there he is.
Meaning, I saw the price of your new phone and I thought it was too expensive.
I can use Siri during playback as well.
On the other hand, there's probably no better way to gain a compact interview of the library. Highly recommended.
And
In a movement
I just missed
as relative, recent, and tightly knit as that library, one might wonder its existence of yet a third
Siri will skip back
slick covered magazines,
temporarily turn on my couch.
like an inquiry.
So cool.
The movement hashes out different positions and strategies.
Home screen. Siri's also really great in
Hey, what about you doing this job? Let me tell you what's holding you back. Let's progress here. Let's do this. What about this shape and how does that feel when you look at it? Does it do anything different in the computer when you operate it?
I'm
Anarchists. Most of these groups are heavily involved with the printed words as their main propaganda medium. Meaning we can't be just gifted all the information, which I've already discussed this with God.
Based on past,
Meaning it's still a game of life.
even age rating.
Meaning you have to be in discovery or thought processes to evolve the information through the workings of your learning experience, which is why you were put here on this planet, which is why you agreed to be here.
Paddington looks good.
So basically, I'm the clue giver.
Into this beautiful full screen view. It has all of the important details right up front.
Not high.
Where the movie's available from.
Reason?
Let's play it.
Scammed over for $400 by weeddaily.net. It gets a lot more easily accessed if I'm high. And it also gets a lot more dangerous if I'm high, because women
Lets us eliminate many
or evils
I can just rest
attempt to kidnap me,
in the movie
abuse me,
to get quick
murder me,
info and other settings.
and feel as if it's a weakened state of joy, which then they attempt to hinder the processes of your advancements.
Siri will answer on the bottom.
Yes, I still feel pain and head hits. It's just not as
In
intense.
the moment info like sports scores. How did the San
The
Francisco
SLP attempted early on to become the political arm of the industrial workers of the world, a revolutionary labor union,
I can also ask about the weather.
meaning maybe you shouldn't be making so much money and you should be lowering the cost of the product,
Okay, that's pretty good.
which is why California is kind of expensive. How much more money do you personally need? Who decides who gets paid what? That would be your leader, who makes a lot of money. Meaning you should have a third-party company come in and evaluate your salaries. Fair and reasonable pay though. Line through my mouth. Reason? That's called channeling. No, that's called tonguing. No, that's called talking in tongues. I always think it's like an alien language. It feels good though. Except for I just got a head hit. So then some people will feel as if they're being left out because they're not in the alien class. Which is why? Because you're an angel. There's aliens and then there's angels. But why did someone in the group hit me with a hammer? Because they're a demon. So there's demons, there's angels, and then there's aliens. The demons are the ones that attack, and they are not to be trusted, and they hinder your mental states. You will find yourself getting stuck often around them. They will steal your ideas, inquiry. They will seduce you, gentlemen. The men, I don't see this too often these days, will be perverted or perverse, which is an old action. I'm seeing space. Root and Branch, a libertarian Marxist journal from the Boston area, holds views similar to the ICC's, although they diverge on one or two significant points. For instance, the two groups hold differing versions, many versions of the same thing, the crisis theory, pointing at different causes for the present crisis of the system. In general, R&B's approach is more flexible and open-minded than the ICC. The journal publishes excellent in-depth analysis of current world events as well as expositions of economic theory, inquiry. All thought-provoking to better evolve your systems. Necessary? I'm working with nothing. That's kind of weird. I have not talked with anyone from Apple. I have not spoken to anyone from Apple. I post on my page about Apple being the CEO as partner with Apple, and then Apple releases a new phone. Apple releases Jobs the movie. Questioning. A tactic for sure. A sales tactic to promote Jobs as leader of systems. Anarchists. Readings on the far right. ABC, understood. Utilize the necessary actions to get the message out, is what I thought. But I'm also a good-hearted person who doesn't believe in corruption unless corruption shows itself. Still struggle with the idea that people could be this evil. Missing my old life, which was really fabulous. Simple. Wants to run back to her old life of making a normal salary away from all of you. Because that's how crazy you are. How to make knives. Protection. Most how-to books concentrate on mystery or history. This one does neither, despite the possibilities present in the old tradition-rich craft. Every step is photographically served and surprised. There's even a discussion of metallurgy and tempering, multiple visiting pros, and interest in several opinions. Practiced just sharing. Doubt, just share no matter what it was. Even if it doesn't feel like it makes sense. That's how. Head hit. Meaning some people are probably going to get cut. It's complicated. Head hit. Liars. Swimming. Diving. The rising sun. The neighborhood loser. The science of swimming. The basic swimming strokes have been totally revamped in the past years. Propulsion in the crawl now relies on a bent elbow pull underwater instead of old windmill arm action. All related to the computer system. You have to get creative. The flutter kick has been found to contribute nothing to propulsion. It only keeps the body aligned and afloat while the arms are pulling. Windsurfer. Then I would think, well, that must have to do with the fan. It's a sensational sport, maybe the best available. You can do it wherever there's wind and a bit of water. I gave the hand gliding for windsurfing easier, closer, cheaper, wilder, safer, more interesting places to go, and more interesting weather can be flown in. So then I would say, what would the fan would be an easier, closer, cheaper, wilder, safer, and a more interesting place that the air could travel through the system. Meaning then my mind would get creative with the fan to cool down the hardware. Sport diver. Because they are large and slow moving, the first impression one gets of a whale underwater is not unlike to London bus emerging from a dense fog. So this tells me that you all have been asleep, trying to work your asses off. The veil. It's like, I call it the natural facelift. Oh! And it has everything to do with the Democratic Party that's in office at this time. It's a collective consciousness experience of what they're exposing us to. Slowing down every aspect of our lives, from relationships to advancements in technology. You name it. But the thing about that is they do not care. And the Instagram models who associate it with them. You know who I'm talking about. All of them. Anyone who's married to somebody on your staff who looks like a supermodel puts the veil over their eyes so they cannot produce product. Mind confusion. Hoping for their failures. And you're all buttons. Money mongrels. Pretending to take care of the kids, but not. Having guilt, fancy shoes, fancy clothes, fake birthday parties, trying to keep up with the Joneses in a way like we've never seen before. See, this lady's a little different. She's a keeping up with the Joneses, if you recall this episode. But her primary source is family. She loves her family. She's normal. Who's attractive, who has a lovely dress on, who's professional. This is where the man unprofessional, who the man professional would attempt to attack. Because she's a good person. And it was something like that happened to her. and snarky comments or positionings of the body or energy exchange. And somehow we're on a level of sexual harassment in the workplace versus just being professional. And then in the moment that the moment happens where they're not professional, you say, I don't think so, and you report them. Because if you don't do something about it, then again, we hinder the product advancement. It's like a lingering something in the space. It prevents you from being creative. It holds you back from success. And it doesn't just affect the two people involved, it affects everyone. So there's decisions that need to be made on that. It's different and same with wives of men, because they puke all over the man and then he takes it into the office whether he knows it or not. And I'm not talking about a relationship that's a decent relationship that you're just going through like a divorce separation where you separate because you just aren't in love no more. Now these women are vicious. This is new age stuff. This is like Real Housewives stuff, which is another example of how your wives have learned to be who they are, is by watching the facade of a reality television show. And now you've got the Gen Z millennial crew bringing in their skunk into the house. All detrimental to the advancement of the computer systems to take us into space, all coming from the Democratic Party, which then trickles from the celebrity and then again into the minds of humanity. Meaning no one really gets too excited when you guys come out with a new product anymore. Not like we used to. And that has everything to do with what's going on in the world right now. Meaning we're looking at the price of that computer and we're going, $899? I can't afford that. However, the rich bitch drops down the $900 because she's a money mongrel. And the rich bitch doesn't know how to use the iPhone anyway. She just wants the status of the iPhone, which means all your hard work goes into the trash. Unutilized. Something else. So this is the part where you're supposed to do the work behind what I'm saying. So you don't have to do anything. Or you can do all of it. And then there's doubt that creeps into space, if this is even real for me. Because I've had no communication with anyone on this planet admitting that this shit is real. And that's why I end up in the spaces that I end up in. Meaning I have no assistance or help. Or even someone standing across from me working on project development, except for the facade of working on project development. Not only that, is I don't collect a paycheck on any aspect or form. And I'm utilizing your phone in this whole process, by the way. I don't have enough memory while utilizing TikTok. Meaning everybody in the store will tell you that you have enough memory. And I can assure you, if you're an advanced spirit like myself, you do not have enough memory to make movies, which is the next up and coming phase of all this, meaning we need larger memory spaces. We need huge memory spaces to hold hundreds of hours worth of information. The triangle keeps showing. There's a prominent point in the movie of Jobs telling Dipshit to make sure it's all aligned and straight. He's like, he went, clean it off. Triangles. It's the smartphone growth. It's like thinking outside of the box of what he already created and advancing it into even something like this, shapes. And reminding you that I have no idea about a motherboard or computer systems. I'm going by what the signs are, and that's how I read. Meaning you have to do the work, and I send you the thoughts. Oh, okay, well, that makes sense. When I'm working on this project, and this happens, and then this, and then let me think of what she's saying here. And even when I just showed you that flowery thing on the phone, what does it remind you of from my TikTok when I made those cards? It shows up again. If I had computer skills, it may resonate with me, but I have no computer skills. I even have a hard time turning on my computer. Giving you a flip, and then I have to turn it off because my time is progressing too quickly. And so this is the point where you'll receive information somehow through telepathic sources or whatever. And it's different in real life, by the way. I feel like you get more advanced services in real life. China shows. I'm trying to keep them out. I don't trust the low end of China. TikTok. Marijuana. And this is a concern also. See this? The new way of looking. Do you see how that happened to me? That's from this. And that means I want this paid for, to get this taken off. It drives me nuts. No, the facelift, not even a facelift, but a tissue extraction. I notice it. Your phone did that to me. God did that. See how God's trying to, he's been real nice to me. He hasn't been lifting my eyebrow. I think it's going to heal pretty good though. What do you think? It was really awful, wasn't it? Okay.